Well, this is Patrick at Radicards.com, and this is my co-host here for today's episode. This is Dan Greinel at SportsSecurities.com.
Hi, how's it going?
So today we're going to talk about day 4 of the 2015 National Sports Card Collectors Convention here in Chicago. And what we bought, we just have a few things here, and we kind of picked out what we like of the various items that we bought today.
There's some good stuff.
Really good stuff. Yeah, you made some interesting purchases today, and really fine examples there you have, and we're gonna kind of just walk you through them today. But some of the other highlights that we've had between yesterday and today are what, Dan? What would you say come to mind?
I think the biggest thing was yesterday we had a pretty nice lunch with some Panini executives and some Beckett big shots, right?
Yeah,
That was really cool.
that was cool.
That was one of the big highlights.
Yeah, it was good to sit down with some of the people that make some of the bigger decisions in the hobby as far as like market trends and different concept implementations and things like that.
Right, distribution of
Yeah,
certain products
and how things are marketed and stuff like that. That was a really interesting and fascinating, very educational and exciting lunch that we had together. And it happened very, like I said, serendipitously. We were just there, they were there, and then it kind of just came together really nicely. So we were really happy to sit with Panini and Beckett executives for lunch that day. Thank you both to companies. Thank you, Beckett. Thank you, Panini, for sitting down with us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was great.
Yep.
So let's take it away. What did you get today?
I'm going first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know what order I'm going to go here, so I'll probably go with the least exciting things, which actually are still really cool. The first thing is, Pat and I were, as I call it, hustling the bargain bins, and I came across a couple of really old cards, so some stuff that, I just couldn't pass up. And it's not super valuable, but they're in great condition, and they're actually really cool. So the first one here is an 1890 N163 Dogs of the World Goodwin. It's a really cool card. You can see there, it's a little dog, a wiener dog. It's hard to believe that this is over 100 years old. There's the back. You can see it there. Just clean. You can see that it originally had rounded corners, so it's not like they were square and then they were rounded down. The second one was kind of on the same lines. This one is an 1889 N5 Allen and Ginter Birds of the Tropics. So this one is the India Peacock. That one's really clean as well. There was a little bit of paper damage on the front, but you probably can't see it in the camera there. If you were to be there in person or be here in person, you would actually see slight wear, but not anything too bad. And then here's the back, also really nice and clean. So not bad for a couple bucks a piece. I thought it made out really well. Was originally planning on buying them for the purpose of resale, but I think I might hold on to them. The second thing is I got some McGuire coins. I'm a McGuire collector, and I've been watching these things for a while now on eBay. They are sterling silver Highland Mint cards. I'm sorry, coins. I liked the fact that they're from silver. They're made from silver. They're 1 troy ounce. This one here has a print run of 7,500. I'll do my best to kind of show you there. I hope the lighting, lets you see. This is the 70th home run commemorative coin. Really nice. And if McGuire goes, rock bottom, it's at least worth the silver value. The second one is a 2-tone McGuire coin. Same thing, Highland Mint, 1 troy ounce. But this one's only limited to 1,500. So it's pretty sweet. They both come with COAs, which is nice, and they're numbered. So I thought they were pretty cool. As a McGuire collector, it's not a card, but it's still a McGuire. The next thing is another bargain bin find, which I thought was really cool. I think Pat's a little bit jealous.
Extremely, actually.
It's a BGS Mint 9 Essential Credentials Tim Duncan card. I know Pat doesn't do many sports outside of baseball, but I have the tendency to dabble in almost every sport. And this one's really cool, not because it's a BGS 9 or Essential Credentials, but it's a missing serial number. There's no serial number on it. I'm not exactly sure what the original one was. It's less than 100 for sure. I'm thinking in the neighborhood of, between 80 and 90. But really cool card. So, it's probably a bankruptcy card. Pretty rare. I don't think I've ever seen one. Looked them up on eBay, and we were able to find, was it a LeBron that had sold? Same situation. It had sold for close to $200. So not bad for the bargain bin.
And how much was that card?
I don't think I'm going to share that. And lastly, the monsters of my show. So I probably won't find anything tomorrow, the last day, that will top these things. Quick story, I saw these on the first day, and I've been talking about them since day one. Pat, and I kind of consulted, and I decided I was going to buy them. So I got them at a really good price. The first one is right here. It's the 1992 Proline Portraits Muhammad Ali. What makes this card great, though, I'll hold it different here, is that if you look at the back, it is autographed, right? And it is autographed by Muhammad Ali. There's a stamp on the side. I don't know if you can actually see it in the camera, but it's the authentication from Proline that this is an authentic signature. What I really like about it is I've looked at Muhammad Ali's signatures for a while, and because of his Parkinson's, they're really bad. There's some scribbling lines, but in this card you can actually see that it says Muhammad Ali. So this is pre-Parkinson's, or at least pre-bad Parkinson's. So I'm really happy to have this. And to finish it off, I have a second 1992 Proline portraits of Muhammad Ali, but on this one the signature is not Muhammad Ali but Cassius Clay. So I have the pair. I'm really pumped. These are really good cards, and I'm excited. So from this point, I'll hand it over to Patrick and let him finish it out.
Those are really great pickups, Dan. And I'm really impressed with the degree at which you were able to, degree of strategy at which you were able to acquire that Tim Duncan card. Yes, I'm jealous, but I'm also proud of you. And I think that was a really great find.
Thanks.
Of course, of course. And I remember seeing those two Muhammad Ali cards the first day. I took a picture of them there, and I posted them on the article for day one. Those are actually really some of my favorite pieces that I find. So what's the beauty about this show is that you find things you wouldn't, or you'd have a very small chance of finding or seeing elsewhere otherwise. So I always take pictures of things that I'm like, I probably won't see that many Jordan rookies in one place again for a while, or I probably won't see that many Gretzky rookies in one place for a while. In 2012, I saw a spread of Nolan Ryan rookies, just I don't know, 30, 40, 50 of them just spread out on them, and some of them were signed. And the same show, I saw a whole showcase of A-Rod rookies, just stacks and stacks and stacks of them.
Right.
And that's something I just don't see every day. So seeing these two cards side by side is another one of those things you just don't see every day, with both the different names autographed and the pre-symptomatic signatures, and they're just fantastic. They're just gorgeous. And
Great.
Really stoked that he picked those up.
Yeah, if you guys ever have a chance to go to a national, you have to go. I mean, it's more than just finding good deals. It's really just a cool place, and you will be amazed as to the stuff you'll find. It's mind-blowing, and some of the stuff that you think is really rare, you'll realize that it's not, and some of the stuff that you thought was pretty common, you'll realize that it's kind of rare. It's just a great place, a great time, and hopefully, some of you will make it out to Atlantic City next year. I think Pat and I are going to try and be there.
Yeah,
It's going to be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. And something too is that, like, to find the things that we find, like what Dan found, it requires a degree of work. A lot of it, actually, the hustle, and you really have to kind of plan and focus on, really strategize your time the best you can, so you can see it all and make sure to get through as much of it as you can, or figure out which boxes can yield the most return,
right? And
pick a few stacks and see, like, okay, in this stack, what does it look like? Is it modern? Is it vintage? Is it the last 20 years? What is in it? And you can kind of get a gauge on if you want to spend your time in that booth or on that box. And if not, you can put it down and move on to the next box. And we kind of just picked and choosing accordingly, and we found a lot of different boxes that have yielded some great items. So I'm going to show you a few items today that I picked up just today. Obviously, I picked up more than what you see here, but I think these are some interesting conversation pieces. So I'm going to start off a little bit lightly and kind of move into some very interesting things in the back here. So first things first is that these are 1997 Pinnacle Mint bronze brass coins rather. These ones are Sammy Sosa. Now I didn't buy these for the Sammy Sosas. I bought them because they came in the plastic case for which they were released. Now the reason why this is so important to me is because when I first bought the Thomas, it was in the mall there in Albuquerque some years back, and a seller had the Thomas in this plastic case, and I immediately bought the Thomas coin, took it out of the plastic case right then and there, threw the plastic case away, and put the coin in the top loader. Later on down the line, a couple years later, I was looking at my Thomas coin. I was like, it'd be nice if I had the coin in something in the top loader. Why did I throw the plastic case away?
Right.
So I bought this so that I can put my Thomas coin back in this and put it back in the top loader, because I think that it fits perfectly right down in. So this is a nice piece, and I think it was in the quarter box or
Nice.
something. It was a cheap card, or a cheap item. So moving on, we're in Chicago, so a lot of the Chicago dealers have Chicago White Sox team sets, and team sets that have been broken up to sell individual cards and things like that. Now this next card came from a 1990 Coca-Cola set that was released, or actually I think this, yeah, it's a Coke set that was released in full set form in, I think, 12 packs of Cokes in 1990. I think a lot of these things were tossed though, because it's my understanding that these may or may not have been sealed or adhered to one of the sides. I don't know. But either way, when you buy Pepsi or Coke or whatever product, you don't expect, if you get, something that's a toy or something, you may or may not be apt to just toss it out with the box. I mean, how many of us kept?
I'm sure a lot of them were given to the kid, like, here, kid, this is for you.
Right, and they may have just been trashed.
Yeah,
I mean, who knows? But how many of us have kept, like, McDonald's Happy Meal toys or cereal toys or things like that? And I've given a lot of that stuff away. But I think over the course of time, toy collectors might find intrinsic value and things like that. Same goes with cards. Some of these things, stuff gets trashed, so the limitation, print run, although high, whatever survived becomes smaller with those degrees of life-threatening situations. So this here I got because, it's Scott Rudensky, and it's from that set. And I've always wanted this card. Didn't really ever think I'd find one graded, which I look for them frequently, but they're he's I guess considered a utility player. So how many people get utility player cards authenticated? And that's the other piece of it too. Another thing too is I don't see it in the market very frequently, so coming across this in the 25-cent bin was kind of cool. So I picked him up. Now these are a little bit larger, so they don't fit in top loaders. Well, they fit in top loaders raw. They don't fit in top loaders with any penny sleeve, because I'd probably have to get a vintage card penny sleeve to fit it in there.
Too wide.
Too wide, so I didn't have a vintage card penny sleeve to do that, so right now it's just sitting until further notice. I'll get it out of there later. Now this next one is a card from a set I'm collecting, and I've done a pretty good job knocking out some of the silvers and
You
golds.
should take that out of the top loader so people can see it.
Oh, well, you think that they'd be able to... Okay, let's check here. I think I should take it out raw?
I think you should take it out raw.
Okay, let's try it. So, this is from 1997 Finest Embossed. You can kind of see it there. Let's see if I can get a good... Now, these are really cool because you've got that matrix prism, almost atomic refractor thing happening. Funny thing about these cards too is that the backs are also feature a similar design.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really nice. I don't have the John Franco in this set, so I checked my checklist while I was there, and I picked this up. These are beautiful. This is one of those cards that features technology that hadn't really been created previous, except for maybe 96 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor. That's kind of what you see here on this design. But then the embossed on top of that. This is one of those designs that uses two different technologies, and they work really well together. And it hasn't been. I don't think anything like this has been matched since.
No, you don't see it.
You just don't see these things happen these days in market. And I was talking to you earlier about earlier refractors are somewhat more vibrant than the modern refractors, and I don't know why that is. Like, why did that happen? Is it because of cheaper materials, saving bottom line? These ones are really vibrant, and I really enjoy looking at these. Um, and I keep my eyes out for them. I don't really have the funds to work on the golds, so I just work on the silvers. And I think they're about, I want to say like 150 of them or 100 of them or something. But they're really fun to pull together. It's been a great time. So pick that up. This one was in the bargain bin as well. And I tend to look at the backs of cards when I'm searching for them, just because you never know what you can find that's unique. So I picked this one up. This is from 1998 Donruss, Heading for the Hall. And I flip it over, and it's a sample card. So Mr. Tony Gwynn, he has one of the greatest batting averages career ever.
Very underrated player.
Very underrated player, yeah.
And the hobby.
So, I was happy to find that. I didn't even know this one existed, but glad to have the sample in hand. This next one here, another bargain bin find. I've got a 1995 Pinnacle. You know, when 94 Pinnacle came out on the market, and they did the Dufex. I thought they were better looking than artist proofs, although the artist proofs in that set are much more desirable because they're rarer. Dufex are fantastic, and in 95 they followed it up with, again, artist proofs got a little bit better, and their Dufex was still the same beautiful technology. So this set came out of the 95 Pinnacle release, and it's an insert set. They had a red hot and then a white hot. You may or may not be familiar with this, but the red hots featured foil, flat foil on the front of the card, and the white hot, this second parallel up of those cards, featured the Dufex technology, and that's what this is. I get these when I find them. I just love the Dufex technology. I'm not sure if you can see it there, but Jeff Bagwell, classic. So I don't know how many cards are in that set, but kind of a fun one. Now this next one here I bought because it's a Crammer's Choice, and I really like these cards a lot because they're one in, I think it was 721 packs.
Yeah.
Now these are also serial number to 299 for this year, which is 1999. And I got this for a really good bargain deal, and I bought it because I just really love the design, and I think these cards are fantastic. They're gorgeous. And I work on a few peripheral sets outside of Thomas. I work on some insert sets and some just parallel from the base set. And this would be one of those
Interesting note on those. I remember when they were, when it was a live product, you could find those. I mean, the rarity, made them hard to find, but people were searching packs for those because of the odd shape. You could kind of move the cards to the side and feel if they were in there.
Gotcha.
It was an easily searched product if you could find them.
So I guess that leads to the question: is how many of these got damaged when people were
Probably
searching?
A lot of them.
So that's the other piece of it too. Is that now looking at this, was this a result? This card a victim of the pack searching?
Yeah,
I've got a bit of wear on the bottom corner here.
It's probably standard.
I don't
being
know.
In a bargain bin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This was in a top loader when I found it, so this card could have changed hands a number of times before it finally got to me. That's a funny thing to think about, is the cards you have, like say for this Nolan Ryan we're going to talk about here in a minute, how many people touched this card before we got to it, I got to it. We saw a Jordan LeBron card today that we thought that was one of our friends, belonged to one of our friends previously, and it turned out it didn't, but our thought was, if it is the same example, how many people had touched it before it finally got over to seeing our eyes again.
Yeah, that was a nice card.
A really, really nice card. So, anyway, moving on. This one here is very peculiar and very unique, and I've only known of a Cal Ripken example of this card. But sure enough, if there's a Ripken, maybe there are other players in the set, or maybe a full set with this problem or this difference. I have a Nolan Ryan here. Now, in 1992, Topps decided to do a parallel set. I guess in 91 there were parallel sets. There were a lot of them. There was Tiffany, there was Desert Shield, there was Mini, there was Prism, or not Prism, but there was Micro, there was Cracker Jack, etc., etc., etc. So, there's Peachy. So, 92 they followed it up with two parallel sets. We've got the gold and the gold winners. This is a Nolan Ryan 92 Topps gold winners, but you'll notice here that the foil isn't gold, it's in fact silver. Okay, so that's the first one I've ever seen, and this is the first time I've ever seen a silver in person. So I picked this up, and it's my hope that maybe there's one of a Frank Thomas out there somewhere.
I think the biggest question on that card is probably is it actually an intentional silver foil, or if it was a faulty foil? You know, I mean,
That is a question. Is it intentional, or is it that the fact that maybe the levels ran out on the gold
Something,
foil or
yeah.
something like that? I don't know, but
maybe they had a wrong drum in, and then they realized it. You know, could be an error.
yeah, there's a lot that goes on here. There are a lot of questions that come to mind when I look at this, but I couldn't be happier with the player.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Greatest pitcher on earth ever, and so it's in kind of beat up condition. As you'll notice, the back on the left side there, it's got some damage or wear. You'll see here, Dan, it's kind of like yellowed out a bit. 84 Fleer has this
But
problem.
it could be a 1 of 1.
Could be, don't know. All I know is it was a quarter. So pulled that sucker. That was cool. These last three are minor league on-card autographs, and I just found them to be really unique and kind of peculiar. I know that John Littlefield here, he doesn't sign very often. So when I found this, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And it's a minor league card, and it was 1978. So this is really cool.
1978 McDonald's.
Yeah. So here it is. John Littlefield, 1978 McDonald's minor league card. So that's really excellent. Got that one. I love these old minor league cards. They look so, like, I don't know, like something you put in your wallet when you were a kid.
They look minor league.
They look minor league, very minor league. This one here is a 1977 Ron Kittle minor league card. He was 19 years old at the time. So he didn't actually appear on cards until 83 Topps traded. So 6 years would have to pass. And so when he was 25, he finally makes it into the major leagues. And he was finally introduced into cards in main sets in 84. So it's a very young Ron Kittle. He played with the Dodgers. Not the Dodgers, White Sox. He was drafted with the White Sox.
Right, I'm sorry.
But here, he played in Albuquerque.
He did. He played in Albuquerque.
And he's with the Dodgers for, well, I guess their farm system. So that was really excellent. This last one, this is excellent. This is a Frank Thomas.
The ugly one you told me.
Well, it's a different Frank Thomas. So there was the Frank Thomas in the 50s, played for the Mets, the Pirates, the Reds. And there was a Frank Thomas in the 90s, who played for the White Sox, the Blue Jays, and the A's. That's the one I collect. And there's a Frank Thomas in the middle, in the 80s, the early 80s, in the minor leagues. And this is that guy, and it's an on-card autograph. On-card autograph.
Check out that unibrow.
Isn't that rad?
Looks like a second bill on his cap.
So this was a really cool find, and you know, I feel like I know there are other Frank Thomas cards of his. I'm not sure if he ever made it into the major leagues. If he did, I don't know of any card that exists that's licensed by any major product that depicts him, but glad to have that example. So, I think today was a success. You think it was an A day or a B day?
I feel like I had an A day. The first one of the show, I think it was.
It was a good day.
Monster.
It was a really good day, and I picked up some more 95 Select certified mirror golds and some international refractors and things, just odds and ends, and it was fun. We're almost finished with making our way through the entire show. Right. So there's still a few. I think there's a row to go, or a half a row, or something.
Right.
And so we're getting through it. So
we're not claiming that we've seen everything, but we're saying that we've at least walked every row.
I'm claiming that I've seen everything.
You've not seen everything.
We've walked every row. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, enjoy collecting.
See ya.
Thank you.